Hi, my name's Ben Chavez. I'm from Denver. I'm from here. Today I want to go ahead and invite you to come with me on an adventure to go ahead and meet the legendary Sam Henry. I'm standing right now outside of Sam Henry's Custom Hydraulics with the beautiful lowriders that he's built. Follow me as we go into the wonderful world of lowriding history and culture.
My name is Sam Henry, born and raised Denver, Colorado. Been lowriding since 1978.
The arts and the culture of lowriding, from paint jobs to hydraulics to, everything that needs to be done with interior. Can you go ahead and give us a little bit about your car, Silent Whispers, that has been in Lowrider Magazine?
I've had 3 cars featured in Lowrider Magazine, and believe it or not, all 3 of them were named Silent Whispers.
Oh, really?
Right.
It don't change.
Right. As far as like to build one, you have to have the ambition, you have to want to do it, and you have to be ready to possibly work 2 jobs like I did to make it happen. Lowriding for me, it was never a hobby. It turned into a lifestyle real quick.
Lifestyle.
Yeah, so, and to this day, it's still a big part of my lifestyle. And of course, what changed from the early 80s, the late 70s, early 80s is, well, now I got a family and I've got kids and married and my wife and grandkids. It evolved, but it still stood with me because it's my lifestyle. It's something that I'll do until I'm done.
And one thing that I want to say that's really beautiful that you're talking about is like family and cultura and just, how this is an American pastime.
Right.
It's not baseball, it's not football, but for Chicanos and many other communities, not just Chicanos, that you've built vehicles with your son Troy, and you have your family. Your wife always comes out to shows and stuff. So that's like one thing that I really want to celebrate that you've done, is that you've continued to involve your family in lowriding. Can you go ahead and give us a little bit of insight about cruising in lowrider culture in Denver?
I can tell you my story and what I know.
Okay.
And there's definitely a lot more stories out there that can add to my story. But for me, I started cruising 38th Avenue. Probably the first time I ever went up there was 1980.
1980?
But they were cruising 38th Avenue before that. Everything just evolved from there. One thing led to another. And where I'm at today is a huge, big part of my thank yous to my family.
Yeah.
Especially my wife. And of course, absolutely my customers. Because without my customers, I wouldn't have a shop. So when people come in here and they want hydraulics in their car, they want to do this, do that, or whatever, I can relate to them because I've been doing it my whole life.
One thing that I want to go ahead and get a shot of for the people at home is that you have pins and a map over here in the shop, and it shows where you've helped people with hydraulics in the United States.
As far as like me being an influence, I just kind of feel that I ain't no different than anybody else. I just been doing it a very, very long time, and I've been consistent.
Sam, you've been really involved in the lowriding scene here in Denver and the state of Colorado. One question that I want to ask you, what do you think is special about Denver and how we've influenced lowrider culture?
So let's start with, we'll go way back to the early 80s. We can fit all the lowriders at La Raza Park. And now there's so many people involved in Colorado that are into lowriding, so many car clubs. It's really, really family oriented. Everybody has their own flavor, their own style, and it's all art on wheels, and they're their own artists to their own car of what they want, what they don't want. And so that's a really cool thing from state to state, even from city to city in the state of Colorado.
We all have our own style.
Lowriders and car clubs go hand in hand from the beginning. And so, I built the lowrider first, and then I was in the Royal Airs Car Club first. That was a cool club back in the early 80s. And then from there, I went to the Imperials Car Club for a little while, and then decided to venture off on my own and start my own car club, which I still have to this day here in Denver, True Image Car Club.
Yeah, it's a family for sure. I moved here in '96 from California, and I had a hard time finding the right friends. And when I met I met the Heldorados. They were already here when I moved here, and it was like coming home. You know, it was like coming home. Like it was just fit in right out the gate.
Support each other. We help support other people. That's what we do. They call us the OGs, and they look up to us. That's just nothing. You don't get labeled that. You're just out. It's what you do, who you are, personality you are, and how you help everybody. We're here to help everybody. Our knowledge and our wisdom. You know, you can't put a price on it.
This is my first experience with him. We've been married 6 years, and he brought me into this, and I love it, and we built this together, yes.
Lowriding culture is uniquely brown, distinctly brown, and it means something really special. I just got my first lowrider that's here today. There's definitely some better looking cars than mine, but you know, it's something about brown engineering and brown art coming together just to be able to share it with folks. You know, it's an art form for sure.
I've been working on a Denver/Colorado lowrider museum. I have all the items. I'm just working on trying to get a location. Lowriding is not just a lifestyle, it's actually it's our culture. And preserving our history preserves our culture and our lifestyle. So it's going to be really educational once we get this off the ground. I think it's going to be really, really cool for the state and the city of Denver for sure.
What do you see for the future of lowriding, you know, where it's going? And then how do you see younger Latinos and Chicanos carrying on the tradition of lowriding culture?
They're influenced by the older lowriders and all the things that we do out there, and all the car shows that are going on with all the clubs and all the activities. And like I said, it's really family oriented. And they start off just like I did. They get into lowrider bikes and then they get into cars. And so as it's a really, really positive thing for all the youth to see what the olders are doing. And we'll just keep moving forward. And I think, I mean, it's been around since the 40s, so I don't see it going anywhere.
I appreciate, like, you know, how humble you are, and that you're very relatable, and you talk to lots of different folks.
Yes.
You know, and that you're willing to share your wisdom and your knowledge with people. And I admire that, like, a lot, especially here in Colorado, in the city and county of Denver. You've been really influential. This is something that brings people together, white, black, brown.
Right.
It's not just brown people lowriding, it's everybody, and it's a community. So Sam, I want to go ahead and thank you for your time and out of your busy schedule from putting in hydraulics in cars.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the heck out of you, man.
And yep, and a big shout out to Ladies of Lowriding, and absolutely all of my customers, and absolutely definitely my family. Thank you.
Stay elevated by subscribing to the city's YouTube page and stay tuned to our social media channels for more content. Don't miss our new episodes of Elevating Denver, premiering each month. Thanks for watching, Denver.